to another SourceFuse Talking Out Cloud, our leadership chat series. And today we're going to hear all about the experience of an enterprise's digital transformation journey, the key decision drivers, where they began, the challenges, and how these were overcome, and some insights that they gleaned along the way. My name is Liz Grint, Marketing Manager at SourceFuse. And if you're unfamiliar with SourceFuse, we've been transforming enterprises through bespoke, scalable, and secure cloud-native solutions based on over 16 years deep expertise of digital innovation, service excellence, and customer success. And I'm really pleased to be joined today by Hans van der Waal, Global IT Director at Travelex, to share his insights on their own digital transformation strategy. Welcome, Hans.
Thank you, Liz, and nice to meet you, and thanks for your invite, for having me here today.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, Hans. So I'm going to start, as I always do, by asking if you could briefly tell the audience about your background and experience, especially in relation to digital transformation and modernization.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm educated in IT. I started my career a long time ago as an engineer developing code. I've worked for financial institutions, so mainly banks, internationally from the Netherlands where I live, but I worked for several large global banks in different capacities. And more recently in Travelex. And in terms of my experience in transformation, so I've done quite a lot of replatformings in different sort of contexts. So whether it was for merger acquisitions, whether it was for business opportunities, also for modernization, so moving away from older proprietary systems into more modernized systems. From my personal background, I'm quite sort of keen about sort of the cloud technology, developing cloud native solutions. Also, quite sort of strongly interested about SaaS, so the availability of as a service solutions in the market from best of breed sort of providers. Next to that, I think there's a growing sort of interest and expertise and experience also in my personal sort of environment on process automations. I'm quite interested about how we can sort of automate repeatable tasks and interactions, integrations in a way that we can make the business more seamless and integrated, which also supports our digital journey. And from a more sort of digital transformation perspective, quite a lot of work happened on channels. So whether it's online, mobile, customer contact center, bots that are applied in customer interactions. So very much sort of bringing the automation and the technology to the front and servicing our customers. I think that's where the background and the expertise sits.
Yeah, thanks for that, Hans. That gives a good sort of background to where you were, where you started, and your journey along the way, personal journey as well. So when SourceFuse and Travelex were first introduced, I think you had already migrated to AWS Cloud, if I'm right. But what were then the key decision drivers behind Travelex's decision to further invest in digital transformation, and how on earth did the company prioritize what areas to focus on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think so. I think in the context of Travelex, so we are providing foreign currency to travelers, in whether it's directly or through our ecosystem with third parties. So the business performance, our existence is very much depending on people traveling, and As you can imagine, during 2020, 21, and early part of 22, there was not much of that happening due to the global pandemic. So Travelex was quite badly impacted by that. And still we started to embark on this journey with our cloud mission, and those two actually come together in a way. So there is we use that sort of window to well, first of all, try to simplify our organization. So we decided on, what can we stop, what can we decommission, where can we retire things, and how can we optimize our ongoing sort of balance sheet and P&L. And cloud is fundamental for that. So we started to come to a program where we actually moved workloads from our own data centers with the ongoing challenges of maintenance and support and security to a cloud environment from the economics. But it's also strategic in a way, because it would help us to lay a foundation where we from there onwards can invest in more specific sort of agility on our product development, bringing product development to the core of our mission to help our customers to fundamentally change the way we use data. So with data analytics, with data driving the business, being a data-driven business, but also going forward into machine learning, AI type of leveraging our data. That's fundament is very much there, not just to benefit from that economics in that first instance, but also to further develop on our journey. And how we prioritize is very much based on our business strategy, and our business strategy is, and if you can summarize it, then I think what we are aiming for is where we currently have our physical bricks and mortar environment where we interact with customers. We have a lot of anonymous customers, so individuals that come into our stores do a FX transaction. So they trade pound sterling for euros because they go to mainland Europe from the UK, or they a dollar transaction, etc. But then they walk out and we don't know who they are. So that also means that it's difficult to incentivize a repeating transaction, understand how we can help for the customers to make the right decision for the next journey, etc. So our strategy is very much based on digitizing customer interaction in a way that we create relationships with customers, and then the relationship help us to provide more specific products and specific customer experience that will then also help to drive the business. So our transformation is very much a fundament of achieving that larger goal.
Fabulous, and a huge goal as well, a big transformation. And when you were going through that sort of transformation and actually getting going with this strategy, the plan, what were some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
There are many challenges in the digital transformation. Some of it is culture, some of it is resistance in the organization, and some of it is also economics. So how much can you spend upfront to make it work? So that was challenges. On the technology side, you also had challenges. So if you want to move workloads from on-prem data centers to the cloud, and you want to make it secure, and you want to embed sort of microsegmentation technologies and things like that, then you need to know what you have. So it's a very crucial part of the journey is actually to understand all your assets, all your configuration items in ITIL terms, and also what talks to what about what. So understanding how systems interact on what level with what sort of driver behind that. So that you can actually embed that sort of justified interactions, the existing sort of interfaces into your security, and sort of block everything else. So these are challenges because we didn't have a very strong register of our assets, and to the level of sort of that sort of individual access points for individual systems and users on IP level, and that's what you needed. So we had to do a lot of discovery of our own sort of environment before we could actually start to make smart moves with our infrastructure. We also have age systems, so there are platforms in Travelex that are no longer supported by the manufacturers of it, and that's also a challenge, because if you want to touch end of service life systems and components of it, then it's generating more sort of complexity in how you migrate that, because you don't want things to be falling over, and also there is a certain level of what our cloud provider could and couldn't support. I think in our particular case, it's also what I talked about, with the pandemic. So the business was very much on a low end, which gave certain challenges as well. We had people in our business were on mandatory leave, furlough type of constructs. So that doesn't help if you want to make a big transformation, because there were certain areas in the business that we couldn't reach. And then on the data side, there were also challenges around how to migrate data in a way that you do that in a secured way, that everything that you have on-prem is replicated without any change to the destination, so the cloud environment, and cannot be manipulated along the way, and there's just 100% the same data along the way. In terms of how we covered that, how we overcame that, so from our asset management and configuration management, our discovery, we had to do a lot of analysis on that. We also used some tooling for that, also third-party tooling. Plus, we decided to migrate our lower environments first. So we test environments, development environments, migrate them first, learn from that, and capture all of whatever we didn't know, and then only from there migrate production environments, so that we could use that insights from our lower environments before we touch production. Our age system, so we came to boundaries of what we could and couldn't migrate, and there were certain platforms that we just had to leave on-prem or modernize first in a way before we could migrate it. And on the data side, we decided to use an Amazon native product, which is Cloud Endure, which very much made sure. So there was this implicit part of that product is that data is 100% copied and not manipulated along the way, and that helped us to convince the business as well to make it work.
Thanks, Hans. That's really interesting stuff. So I was curious, when you were having this drive towards digital transformation, how did Travelex balance the need to maintain the traditional challenges, such as the physical storefronts? You kind of touched on that earlier, but I'd like to hear more.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So that goes back to our strategy. So I think if you look at Travelex, what is sort of our core strength is probably our brand. So a lot of people globally know Travelex, and that's because they come across Travelex everywhere where we are, and it's almost like a sort of beacon of, oh, I'm in another place, or I'm back home, and there's Travelex again. So when we talk about how we combine digital and our presence. Our presence is key because that's our distribution. We meet our customers in our stores, and our front office staff, the ones that our sales consultant that sit in those bureaus servicing our customers, they are our representation. So what we are aiming for with digital is that it's complementary to our sort of key assets, which is distribution, our brand, our channel, our staff in our stores, and not to supplement that. So we're not saying, well, we're going to put a complete sort of digital channel, which is making all of the distribution obsolete, because that's sort of deteriorating our current strength. Yeah, we definitely embrace our presence in the stores. We embrace our interaction with customers, and we make our product development in function of improving customer onboarding, improving our transformation from anonymous to relationship, improving how we can support our customers, making the best choices of products, and giving them a seamless sort of travel experience. That's where we're aiming for.
So what's next with Travelex? What sort of further innovation do you think? Where will be the next innovation for digital transformation? For example, adopting more AWS tools, advancements that will support your ultimate goals.
Yeah, I think it's probably what I kind of covered in the end of my previous answer. So it's very much around that conversion of anonymous to relationship. That's where we sort of invest most in. So it's if you look at things that we are looking at the moment in terms of airport travelers, for instance, where we also have sort of requirements from a compliance perspective. So for above certain thresholds, we need to check for, do we know the customer, and is the customer not blacklisted in a way, from a sanctions perspective, from government or a US government or European or UK requirements, and or there's also requirements around certain politically exposed individuals. So there's a lot of compliance checks that we need to do anyhow, and we can combine that in a way that we can optimize customer transactions, so that it goes faster, but also for us to be compliant with regulation ongoing, and we start to build that relationship, and the technology goes into scanning and identification, using OCR to capture certain details, and do the background check in the background as well, and do it online. So not end of day or next day, but online, and then we can combine data that we have, what we get from third-party ecosystems. So it could be airports, we could capture data from boarding cards, and we expand on sort of understanding where our customers come from, where they go to, what sort of Travelex products they use, whether it's a prepaid card, whether it's a cash for cash transaction, what they do with over the counter, what they do with our call center, what they do with ATMs. And like I said, we optimize their journey. We can understand how we can influence their sort of a travel experience in a way that the customer benefits, and our business is also continuing to be to be servicing to their needs. And I think that's where we're investing in. And that's a combination of Amazon products, because our data platform that we are building is another fundament of that sort of strategy. And our data platform is very much developed on Amazon and AWS technology. So things like lake formation and Redshift and other components that are being part of that.
Thanks, Hans. SourceFuse did some consulting work with Travelex, as I understand it, looking at things like database assessment, end-of-life support, the SQL Server licensing, and whether the approach would be modernization or migration, just to really make sure that, helping to find the right approach. But perhaps you could discuss some of the lessons that Travelex learned from that approach and how those insights have informed the company's broader business strategy.
Yeah, with SourceFuse, they're actually an interesting sort of new relationship that we started to embark on with them. I must say also, I must thank Amazon for that, because they helped us to identify your strengths and how we could sync up with each other in a way that we both benefit from that. So there's a lot of praise also to Amazon to make that sort of connection. What SourceFuse helped us to understand is.
And overall, this is my last question for you, Hans. What was your experience like working with the SourceFuse team?
Yeah, it's interesting. We come across quite a number of third parties, from historical relationships that continue to help us with things. We also sometimes get introduced to new third parties. A lot of cold sales as well happening in this world. So there's an ongoing sort of let's say experience with all kinds of parties. And what I like about SourceFuse is that there's a very low threshold of being in contact. They don't bother me too much, so it's not that they are frustrating me with ongoing sort of demand for my time and attention and my share of wallet all the time, because that's annoying. Everyone is after what sort of budget we have and how much more can we get out of this organization or this individual, and that's not what they do. So they are very much trying to seek the interaction of, okay, we think you need this because we see that from other customers, and what do you think yourself, and is there a way that we can start to demonstrate things? And it's very low threshold, but very smart as well, because they come up with the right sort of ideas at the right time. So it sort of matches up, and if they continue to do that, then I think that this is growing to become a very interesting bi-directional relationship.
Yeah, I appreciate those nice words. Thank you so much, Hans. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule today.
No
worries.
So
a huge thank you.
All right. No, nothing to think about. You're welcome. And good luck with SourceFuse.
Thank you very much. Well, to our audience for watching, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And I will see you again soon on SourceFuse's next Talking Out Cloud.